Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stiletto here again, and now we're going to be covering the last two series for the Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition PK Player Killers Clan tournament. We got two series left, and we're going to get those done in the round of 32. So, yep, once we're done with this, we'll be moving on to the round of 16, meaning 16 players left at this point. And I think they're already talking about organizing for the finals at this point. So, yeah, the tournament's moving along pretty quickly. So it's very imperative that we get through these games as quick as possible. Yeah. Let me just copy and paste the links into the Discord servers, and then we can begin right away, okay? Yeah, absolutely. So, how you all doing tonight? Last night I was pretty sleepy for some reason. You could tell. I was like going narcolepsy or something. I don't know. I was like totally out, but now I seem to be okay, at least for now. So hopefully this night I'm a bit better. Yeah, hopefully. You can only hope, right? Yeah. I don't know why I was so tired last night. Probably because I didn't have anything to eat on last night. Yeah. Had a bit of a chocolate here tonight, so a little bit of something to give me a jolt so I can talk through this stuff till the end of the night, thankfully. Got about, I think we got about 5 recordings to do this time, so very good that I'm not as lethargic as I was last night. Very good, actually. I was like, did you notice how I was like jumbling up my words and stuff? And I was like, oh, like that. I was like, what am I doing? What's going on over here? Ugh. Yeah, I seem to be much better shape right now. That's good. Absolutely. Alright, so I'm about halfway through all the Discord servers, and then we can start right away. Yep, definitely. We're definitely casting Wars of Liberty this week, don't worry. Because I got a ton of recordings that I'm behind on. So yeah, we gotta keep up with those things, you know? You never know when Middle East is gonna drop, so yeah, I gotta get all the stuff for this version done, and anything else anybody submits is... Ooh, yeah. Ugh, my grammar's still messed up, I don't know why. My grammar's still messed up. I don't know why. Yeah, it's a little bit strange. Like, I'm trying to say something properly in English, and then it's like, I get the words jumbled up. I'm like, okay. It's a little strange. Alright, I don't know if there's a definition for that, but, hey. Definitely. Where are we at? Still pasting. Pasting. From what I could tell on the PK forum, they have about half of the round of 16 games on there right now. If we can get the other half, then we could probably cast that during this week at some point. I don't know when they'll have it submitted by, but yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, but don't worry, this week we're doing other stuff other than PK tournament, thankfully. You know, Age of Pirates, Age of Mythology Retold mod, so don't worry about that. This week's gonna have a bit more variety to it. The only reason I went into full PK clan mode last week was because I was actually getting compensated for it. You know, when you pay me with your little piggy bank, I'm willing to go the extra mile for you. That's all I can say, for sure. Things are definitely different when you're getting commissioned to do something, I think. Not that I wouldn't have done it anyways, because here's the thing. I think what happened was initially, I just got part of the... Actually, from what I recall, I think I actually got less than half of the recordings on Discord, because the problem is on the PK Discord server, they have the system in place in the channel that they're using where old messages were disappearing and being omitted over time. So, depending on if I remember to check it in a certain part during the day, basically, there was an issue where I just wasn't getting the recordings, and thus I always assumed those were the only recordings that there were, and then sure and behold, later I found out that they submitted a lot more to the forum. So I had to go back and do about 107 of them, or a little bit less. Yeah. So that's why I basically had to do with that. It was fun though. I mean, I'm glad that I got to go over them. I mean, there were quite a few out of syncs in the list, but overall the streams, the recordings were pretty good for the ones that did work. You know, we had more Chef Sadise ones, more Julian K ones, more especially good Revnak ones that we didn't get to look at. Plus some players like Gus Gus that I didn't even look at. And it was good to see them do some gameplay too. So yeah, got to put a spotlight on everyone. And hopefully we see them all again for next cycle as well, which would be great. Because they all put on a good show for us, I think. And I think you would agree pretty much. Oh yeah, no. I just wish that we were still getting DLCs in the game, so maybe we could get some new civs. Polish and Danish Cough Cough. And it would just feel a bit newer, but hey, we still made it work anyway, so yeah. And it'll definitely be interesting to look at the round of 16 and then the quarterfinals and then the finals and the semifinals and then the finals, yeah. Semifinals is when it's 4 people, right? And then finals is 2 people, yeah. I'm just copy and pasting one more spot and we're all set to go. Okay, there we go. I got done, thankfully. Yeah. Alright, so let's see what series we got. So we got Yukieti versus Ungers, and then we're going to do Diaruga versus Only Bows here. All very, very strong players in this whole event, so these should be some good battles. Alright, so first one here, we got Attila, also known as Yukieti, versus Ungers. So we got a Sweden versus Germany here. 2 Germanic civs in a battle royale to the death. So, yep, as you know, in these best out of 3 series at this stage in the tournament, the first map is always going to be Great Plains, followed by Saguenay, and then finally Mongolia, if it hasn't been decided yet. So, yeah, right now we see Germany going for their market, followed by Hunting Dogs. It's part of the standard German build order to get some really good gather rates on these settler wagons here. And then for the Sweden, they go the trading post Torp setup. Yeah, there's two sort of ways we can play the Swedes. You can either go with 2 Torps on a mine for full gold trickle, or you can go for a trading post and a Torp to sacrifice some of that trickle to just get more XP for shipments. Yeah, and overall it seems like both have their own merits, so can't really say one's better over the other. I personally go the Torp route myself, because personally to me, having that extra resource generation from 2 Torps, definitely a lot better, I would say, so most definitely. So where are we at now in this? Right now we got about 3 settler waggies and some settlers on the hunts right now. I'm presuming the hunting dogs have already been researched. Yep, they definitely have. As for the Sweden, let's check out their deck. 1 Halb. So, basically from the name of that deck, it looks like he does plan on using Royal Decree somewhere. Yeah, he does have it in his deck there, and he's probably going to send out the Halbs at some point. The Gustavian Guard, as they call them. So yeah, that should be something to look out for. No blueberries, but we do have Engelberg Ironworks there for the doubling of the mining gather rate for those Torps. Because, surprisingly, Torps, these Swedish houses here, can actually gather natural resources. So they can gather from mines, you can gather from berries. In fact, when you build a Torp, it gives you a free berry bush. So even if you don't have any resources nearby, it's guaranteed to do something for you. And they can gather from deceased animals, too. So, yeah, they can gather from dead bison, they can gather from trees. It's pretty nice, you know. It's basically like, sort of like a bank, you know, because it's trickling resources, but it's dependent on where you place the house. If you place it near trees, it's going to do trees. If you place it near a mine, it's going to do a mine. If you place it near some berries, it's going to gather from the berries, and so forth and so forth. So, yeah. Best results can be to try to place it in a spot like this, where you get a bit of the tree, you get a bit of the mine, you obviously get a bit of the bush that it already produces, and there's a chance that you can even, you know, grab a dead animal too, depending on the capacity of it. So, yeah, it's pretty useful for you to learn how to place these torps properly. On average, you can place about 4 torps around a mine, so, yeah, it gets pretty hectic pretty quickly for the opponent if the Swede really knows what he's doing with those torps, yeah. And you can tell if the torp is actively gathering from that resource because you see this little ring here with the combination of like green and blue and yellow. Yeah, so what are they aging up with? Going up with the governor? Okay, they're going up with the governor right now. I think in general, whenever we see trading posts, torp, governor seems to be the politician they go for. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because when I first started learning Sweden, the politician choice was always to go with the naturalists. Yeah, because then you get 2 free villagers, and then eventually, once the cows are fully fed, you can actually just use the torp to gather them, and you don't even need your villagers, because, yeah, the dead animal gather thing that the torp does include herdables, by the way, so, yeah, just something worth teaching you. As for Germany, what are they running in terms of a deck? So, we got, oh yes, that's right, Ungers runs Panders in his Germany deck. That's something that made his a bit unique there. So, has the anti-skirmisher in there. Basically, skirmishers are good at destroying skirmishers. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty nice includes last time I looked at it, because there are going to be some situations where somebody's totally dominating in the skirmisher department. You might need something to mow them down real quick. I think the Panders is obviously a pretty good counter to that, so yeah, that should be pretty good. Alright, so where are we at now? So Germany going for 3 Scepter Waggies and 2 Uhlans. Yep, and Sweden sent their Dominions card because you can see the 4 Torp wagons there. I used to think that the Dominions card was kind of useless because I was like, wait a second, can't we just ship wood and have it be more flexible? And then I realized the Torp wagons are actually really good because you can just take every individual wagon and place it here, 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 and here, and you don't have to take any of these villagers off of their resources to go build them. So you're actually saving villager seconds, and you're actually ensuring that those torps go up a lot faster because the wagons build the torps a lot faster than your villagers do. So it's a win-win, surprisingly. I used to never think of that sort of thing. Because you gotta think of it from like the long-term standpoint of, okay, these wagons are just gonna make the task easier, quicker, save my villagers. I didn't think of that. I thought it was just like, oh, why do I just send wood? Is it wood more flexible? And then, yeah, and then I realized, and I was like, oh, okay. Wow, look at 6 Uhlans here. Angreip! In the cup! Right there. Oh, wow, look at this. Age of Empires 3 pathing. Oh, but he gets the Gustavian Guard from the... Whoa, wow, 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 wow. Talk about timing there. He just got saved by the bell, pretty much. You know, I mean, he lost the Ville, but that could have been a lot worse. I was going to say, look at that Age of Empires 3 pathing there. The Ville's going in the direction you don't want them to go in. Yeah, no, that was something. Yeah, and this is the Swedish church right here, where the royal decree was called from for the Gustavian Guard. Basically, the Gustavian Guard are, like I said, I believe about like 19 halberdiers, veteran upgrade halberdiers, mind you, that, you know, good for shredding cavalry, yeah. Or really anything. I mean, look at the hand attack. Here's a hussar, 30 hand attack, and this is a halberdier, 28 hand attack. So really, if the halberdiers can get close, they're kind of doing a similar damage profile as the hussars are, surprisingly. So, you know, in the right situation, having a big army of halbs like this is like having a massive hussars almost. In some ways better because you got the anti-cav as well, and then you have the higher siege. So, yeah, I think halberdiers definitely underrated to a lot of people, you know what I mean? You sometimes think, oh, go musket, but I don't know, halberdiers can do a lot of crazy stuff, actually. Look, he even took his market out, and he's going to go after his houses, too. Man, this is insane here. But one thing to note, Ungers did make it to Fortress Age, and he's going to counter this with war wagons. Yeah, war wagons could be problematic here, because basically the war wagons are a light cav unit, so they're obviously going to be very fast. Their damage output's pretty scary. It's about 42 damage. And unlike other gunpowder dragoon units, the war wagons actually have hand armor. So they can meat shield. I wouldn't say meat shield, but they can tank the hand damage of these halbs slightly. If they were like regular dragoons and the halbs went up against them, they'd be falling like crazy. But I think these war wagons can take a couple of extra blows, especially since they have a much higher HP loadout than the standard dragoon does. It's 500 HP plus that 20% hand armor, so they can technically outlast these halbs a little bit. But it does look like Ungers was holding on to a pretty good stack of the Uhlans as well, so he's probably just planning his strategy here. What will the Sweyn do in response? Because Sweyn can do all sorts of stuff. So Sweyn's going for their 700 wood, training villagers. Sweyn is still making hussars, it looks like, at least in part. Does the Sweyn just age up? I think so. Yeah, and how many torps is he on? He's got about 5 of them. Yeah, once you get a few more of those, I would say probably start thinking about going ironwork. Engelberg Ironworks there to double the mining rate that the torps do. It's quite good. It basically sets it up so that having 4 torps on one mine is like trickling you like over 2 gold per second, which is pretty good. It's quite a quick gather rate, especially for buildings. Alright, so here comes 700 wood. So he probably will be able to get a barracks up, maybe a foundry with that. That's what I would be looking for there, essentially. Yep. So everything's looking so good so far. Yeah, definitely. Alright. Where are we at now, though? So it looks like war wagons from Ungers are sort of prowling around, looking for targets. They're going to have to explore. Very good. Skirmishers shipping in, still training war waggies. Yeah. What age up will Sweyn go with? The Exiled Prince for speed. What would he ship in, probably? Well, considering the situation, I would probably say either the contract for the Jaegers, or you would go for the Hakkapeliz there, personally. That's what I would think he would do there. Jaegers would be a powerful play. I mean, you can use those halbs to like fend off the Uhlans, and just let those Jaegers like shred the skirmishers and the war wagons because of their overall better stats. Germany's operating with veteran upgrade skirms, while going with Jaegers would obviously be like an Imperial skirmisher plus the 10% additional pierce armor that they possess, making them even better. Yeah. Oh, in fact, going with the Savlax Jaegers right now. Yeah. Savlax Jaegers does something very interesting. It actually offloads some of the gold costs with wood, so it's only like 80 wood and 80 coin. Instead of that huge hefty gold price tag you paid on the Jaegers before. And as you can see here, yep, Jaeger's very dangerous, you know. 263 HP, 30 range attack, 40% pierce armor. Takes a lot to get rid of these Jaegers. Especially for just veteran upgrade Germany skirmishers, yeah. Gonna ship in the 2 Falconets, actually. Going for the offense, I think. So you can put those Falcons into siege. Blast away skirms. Let's see if it works, though. Because how many halbs is, this fell on? He's got about 10 of good Scavier guards left. Massive hussars there as well, so good variety of troops, I would say. Gonna go for veteran Huss too. Okay, let's see how the micro is. So Falconet's bombard mode on. Does he have enough Jaegers to... Well, he's gotta get the halbs in place too to protect against the Uhlans. So he's got 2 threats to worry about. The light cav and the heavy cav. So Jaegers take out a war wagon. That's great. Let's see what happens to this other wagon here. Beautiful. Oh man, look at that. Yep, and going for the 5 Hakkapeliz shipment that I mentioned earlier. gets enough coin, you can go for the 10 Jaegers here too. You only need about 900 coin to do that, which is not bad, by the way. Not at all. Germany going for Cav combat to solidify their stats. They seem to be going heavy into war wagons and Yulons, so Cav combat makes some rational sense, honestly. Well, still adding a few skirmishers in. What would come after that? Probably the 9 Yulons at this point to synergize with what they're doing. Most likely. Sweden going for now Hakapolit and Jaeger. Savolax Jaeger. Hakapolits can be quite good here. They're basically dragoons, but they do 1 splash in their range attack. Kind of similar to the Conquistadors, you know? A very ferocious amount of damage that they can output, especially if the skirms or cav gets crumpled up at all in the formation. Then you'll end up damaging multiple units at the same time with that one area of effect. More Savolax Jaegers. Nice. Ooh, war wagons coming up from down below. Bills. Bills, run! Run! Run, Bills, run! Okay, get the Savolax Jaegers in place. Great. We're gonna be able to blast those. Do watch these Yulons, though. There's a lot of them there. Yulons, when they stack up, can be a serious threat regardless, because their hand attack is very big, you know? So the longer you can keep a stack of Yulons alive by swarming with them, the more damage they're going to output, like 47 damage. That's pretty impactful there. No, that's some pretty hefty damage, I would say. So, yeah, pretty big. Pretty big. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's what we're going to see there. And, Cav combat coming in for Sweden now. So for their Hussars and their Hakapolits. How's the resources too, by the way? Germany's got a little bit more. It seems like. Well, then again, Sweden is doing mercenaries, which is definitely going to be costly. But overall, I think these Savolax Jaegers are going to do a great job once they get completely targeted by the Yulons. Yeah. Savolax Jaegers should be quite a good support here to push out. That's what I would perceive. Minutemen are being picked off one by one from the Swedish town center. Going in front with the Explorer there is a distraction, I see. Let's see how the Hakapolits do against Yulons in protection of the Savolax Jaegers. Looks like the Savolax Jaegers are doing a good job at Michael now. Look at them going after one war wagon at a time. That's exactly what you need to see there, I think. To break the siege, yeah. Because if you can get rid of those war wagons, then the Hussars can either fight the skirms or fight the Yulons more effectively. So it looks like 4 Savolax Jaegers coming in and training Hussars too. Yep. How much coin is that? 1,000 coin now. Do you have a foundry at all? No. Doesn't look like it, but he does have a tavern, so we could just make more mercenaries perhaps with that coin. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ooh. That's just what I was telling you about with the Yulons. I mean, 47 damage. While the HP on the Yulons is very small, they're basically like glass cannon cavalry in a way. If the Yuans can sit there for a while because of lack of micro or some other factor like that, or just numbers, they like shred through things like a paper shredder. You know what I mean? And that's what you saw right there. Didn't matter what sort of inside cab the Sweden had. The Yuan's hand attack just overwhelmed the force and just ground through the units, especially with supporting skirms and war wagons there to hit from range as well. So, quite impactful. Looks like now the Ungers is going to go after his corpse there. Start sieging away at him. Yeah. Here comes more Savalax Seekers from down below, though. Yeah. So the Sweden did pick up a Cheyenne site right over here, right? Yep, definitely. Cheyenne would be great here. I don't know if he can afford them. He could afford them, I think. But yeah, no. Going with Cheyennes would be beautiful here because they're hand cavalry, so they'll like beat these skirms very well. And then they have multipliers against all cavalry, so they'll actually threaten the Uhlans and the war wagons too by extension with those special multipliers. So yeah, maybe adding some Cheyenne am would be a good job for the Sweden. Maybe. Perhaps. Looks like it's a win for Ungis or Yukieta. Ungis. I think it's Ungis. Because those Yuans are still dishing out the damage they need there. Look at that. Taking out mercenaries. Yeah, no, I think Sweden's at the end of the line now. Yeah, GG. So that's presumably a win for Ungers. But we got 2 more recordings to look at in that category, so let's see them. Nope, this isn't it. We're gonna go down to here now. Let's see this one. Game number 2 on Saguenay. So we got Yukieti is Japan and Ungers is France. So we got a France versus Japan. Right, we actually have seen this matchup a ton of times, even on Saguenay. So, made the best man sort of win this one because it really can go either way, I would say. Yeah, no. Typically, it comes down to a lot of skill and careful planning too. Like on this map, Japan gets a unique opportunity that they don't get on the other maps, which is actually to go for their powerful 3 fishing boat card, which they can send twice, since a lot of the unit-based cards that Japan gets, including crates, can be sent twice. Even some text too, like they have one for sawmills and one for fish market that they can send twice. So yeah, Japan, in sort of a weird way in this game, operates with like a double-sized deck if they do everything right. And stick tons of crates and units and those few improvements I mentioned in there. Yeah, now Japan can have a lot of stuff to send throughout the match, which works really well in their favor. Let's see what deck Japan's running. Well, we don't know yet. They haven't gotten a shipping yet. France is already shipping in 3 CBDs. Yeah. 1v1 pawns. 1v1 pawns basically means it's a counter war deck. You can see these 2 cards to indicate that it's a counter war deck. You got the 2 caravels in age 2, and then the frigate in age 3. And basically why these are here is to basically deny somebody a fish boom. If they think there is a fish boom, they can send some of these boats in and clean up the mess. And it forces the opponent who's doing the fish booming to either get to dock up and try and defend it somehow, or have to capitulate the war, which isn't good, because then they lose all that food and gold. Alright, aging up with the Core Master, is that right? And what about to Japan? Going up with the Torii Gates, I would presume pretty soon. So yep, water maps are the best for Japan because they can skip the 2 villager car and just go for 3 fishing boats. 3 fishing boats is obviously going to be a lot better than just 2 vills because 3 fishing boats can be great at like cleansing the sea at that point, eating all these salmon and whatever sort of fish you find in this neck of the woods. It looks like it's all salmon though. Yeah, big time. It's a lot of salmon. Japan going for Torii Gate, right? Yep, Torii Gate. It's always a preferred star in Wonder because whenever you kill units and build stuff and train stuff, you'll start to make more XP as long as this Wonder is active. Plus, the reward for the Age Up 2 is very nice because it gives you a military rickshaw that you can either make into a barracks or a stable, so pushes you right out of the gate with military too, so you can really start working the advantage that the Torii Gate does to your economy. So the France does pick up 700 wood. So they're not just going to go for a fast fortress, they are actually going to reinforce, I think, with possibly double barracks. Either that or barracks stable. Really depends on what Ungers thinks he needs here, honestly. Did he send like double wood? He sent double wood. 2 wood cards. Unreal. Unreal, France. That's a lot of wood there. No. Appears he seems to be going pike and shot. I see pike being queued up and I see crossbowmen queued up. So sort of the crossbowman there is the anti-infantry and then the pikeman is the anti-cavalry. Yeah. Quite interesting. France now going for the 4 CBDs after they just sent 2 wood crates in to support pike and shot combo there. Yeah. See, it looks like Ungers has already taken shots at Japan here. He's already got about 7 crossbowmen trying to press him. But Japan does get some walls set up. Yeah, that's something we saw here too in an earlier tournament match, was basically the Japan using this sort of area here to set up a turtling wall, get themselves near the Kami. Yeah, I think the wall even looked like this too, so see if it ends up working this time. I don't think it worked last time and they end up getting sieged out. We'll see if the Japan learns something here, honestly. So the Japan's doing Yumi archers there, so mostly skirmisher. Should be pretty good against the France unless they pull out heavy cavalry like the Cuirassiers, or they got artillery involved. Yeah. Looks like Ungers has also sent up a trade cart there to get some more resources on the trade route. Oh wow, just noticing this now. The France took the liberty of going full trade route. All 4 trading posts with the stagecoach on there. That's gonna be a huge resource farm. Yeah, tell me about it. Big time, big time. Big amount of resources, yeah. Super muy grande. All the while, Japan is still running their 3 fishing boats on the water there, right? I think France at this point will spot them and maybe try to deal with them with 2 caravels, perhaps. But I would say, honestly, there's 3 fishing boats. You really don't want to go with the Carawar yet, unless you really have the time to do so. Gotta save those 2 ship batches for emergencies where they're really booming like crazy. Yeah. Taking another snip at his opponent here with the crossbowman. Right now he's got about 17. Whereas Yuki is just gonna defend with Yumi archers, it looks like, yeah.
Je suis blessé. Je ne peux pas bouger. Repris les forces.
France does add some musketeers in too to reinforce the area. Yeah. Also going for Kilesez. Kilesez should be pretty competent here because they have splash attacks, so they'll go through the Yumi archers pretty quickly. And they'll even be somewhat of a threat for the Ashigarus too, because of that splash damage and overall decent stats as cav. Reinforcing the musket choice by going veteran muskets, it looks like, yeah. Well, starting to train in skirmisher too, sort of replace the crossbows there. Japan already fighting back though, actually grabbing that trading post there and starting to siege away at one of the French barracks there in that spot. Okay, so Japanese fishing boat's still active. We haven't seen any sort of Carawar yet, just because of the nature of the fighting, it looks like, yep. Always, when you're going to H3 as Japan, you're going to go for a Golden Pavilion. Gives you some free archers, which is great, and then it sets up the ability to get some of the arsenal techs from Europe. And also you can configure it onto 1 to 4 modes to beef up your military in some way. You can go for the range attack boost to boost up the attack on all range units in general. You can put on the likewise melee based one that only benefits units that do melee. And then 2 other spicy options as well there, yeah. Yep, the hit point one, which is universal, and then the movement speed one, which helps units move a bit faster. That one I don't see a whole lot of, but the hit point one can sometimes be pretty good. Alongside the first 2 ones I mentioned, yeah. Looks like Ungus is right at his gate trying to break through the wall, yeah. Meanwhile, these ships will have big Yumi shipments in there. It's a few Yumi archers as well as training in Yabuzume too. The boots are a bit of anti-cap and anti-artillery especially. Mighty Killa says getting chased away by Town Center and Burns' units. It's pretty good. Ungers does recover his train post there though, so that should help out quite a bit to press on the Japanese opponent. Here comes the 4 Yabasumi archers. He already has a pretty decent stack of them right now though. Shipping in the counter water, right? Oh, actually training counter water there from a dock.
Je suis blessé.
Interesting.
Je ne peux pas bouger.
Yeah, Caravel's gonna be particularly nice once they clean out the water because light ships like the Caravel can actually gather, yeah, basically. They can gather fish from the water, yeah. Oh no, here we go again with the brain stuff. Here we go again, man. I don't know. Don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's alright though, it's alright. Interestingly, Ungers has all the trade route on wood delivery. Killa says on the French side will be probably one of the most dangerous weapons here because that thing deals actual splash attack, so it's not quite that easy to deal with, honestly. Bit more of the back and forth between the skirmishers. Both cavalry sides were bopping in and out for maximum damage. France is going for cavalry hit points. That's concerning. Big time. Means he has to reinforce them statistically with cards. Now France has secured the war, now they can actually start to train fishing boats directly. Adding in Yumi archer attack, I'm kind of surprised Japan didn't pick that up yet. No, especially since you're dealing with an army of Dragoon and Skirmisher, you'd think that he would consider getting the damage on the Yumi archers there to sort of break their line and force them to get expensive cav and do some decent attrition there, yeah. Using the Japanese isolation in them to make some Yamabushis to counter cav, never a bad idea. Trying to figure it out, so it's still Discipline Yumi and Yabazume from Japan. Pretty good at this point. My memory served me right. This is what happened the last time I saw Japan versus France on Saguenay. I'm saying the French just run them out with all this splash cat and falconets and stuff. Yeah, big time. And the timing as well. Picking up another big Yumi batch from the TMC. Yep. Gotta get some war real quick. Keep watching this while I do it.
Je suis blessée. Je ne veux pas bouger.
Well, good, right? Yeah. I accidentally stepped on the wire that has the monitor attached to the wall there. So I just wanted to make sure we didn't lose any graphics. Yeah, looks like we're okay. So we should be able to continue. Yeah, I just knew I had to get some water. So I'm feeling a bit thirsty. Japan's actually moving along pretty nicely here. Eat that whole army of Ungers. It seems to be the combination of Yumis, Yabazume, and a couple of Yamabushis as well. So sort of like Dragoon, Pike, Skirmisher. Yeah, pretty formidable force there. Yeah, the thing is, Yumi archers have a rate of fire of about 3, so they're actually more comparable to European gunpowder skirmishers and crossbows than actual archers. Yeah, kind of a neat fact. Double stable cuirassiers from Ungers though, trying to just go for brute force, hard stats on the field. Yeah. Typically when you spam cuirassiers, you're going brute force at that point. Just hoping that the splash attack and overall good cap stats just wins out no matter what. It is tough though, since Yukietis has made a good number of light cabs there, and he has some pikers down, so definitely something to look out for, yeah. The France also going for counter infantry rifling because he wants that extra multiplier heavy infantry on the skirms to be able to deal with the Yamabushis too. So he's just preparing everything he can do here to try to turn the tide. Yeah. Yep, just gotta keep push. Oh man, look at that though. I'm surprised the Yabazumes are doing a great job there against the Cuirassiers. Because here's the thing, whenever I look at the stats on the Yabazumes, it always seems like they're a little bit undercut because their multipliers are not that good. And their base damage is always a bit small, so I never think, oh man, the Yabazumes are gonna have a real easy time with that cab there. Nah, especially since the Cuirassiers are one of the strongest cabs. You would think that Yabazumes would struggle a bit, but nope. Keeps holding off against them for some reason. Kind of gives me a bit more respect for these Yabazumes against things that aren't artillery, because I knew they were always good against artillery. I just thought that their anti-cav rule was a bit underwhelming, and it might still be, but seems to be doing a great job here against Unger's cavalry. Does he have any combat on these? Yep, he has cavalry combat and he has cavalry hit points, so these aren't even just raw cuirassiers, he does have upgrades on them too, so kind of an enigma I'm still trying to figure out here of how these Yabazumes are handling it so well. Alright, Ungers is going in with another cuirassier attack. He's downing some Yumis here, so it is reaching its intended target, but how much do they end up getting done before they get KO'd by those Yabazumes? That's the question. Big question, actually. Also, reinforcing this area with the barracks. Ungers, you might want to finish that there. Yep, I do like that he's trying to push back too. Here comes the Falconets now. These the shipped ones. Yep, it looks like it. Japan adding in Nagis now to deal with the cannons and the skirms. So that should be a good hand cav switch right there, pretty much, yeah. Gets the barracks done from Ungers. He's got like 2,000 food, but he's lacking the gold. Can he get 1,000? Yeah, he could get 1,000 coin and try to get an industrial age here. Might end up seeing that somewhere along here. I just don't know when. Because right now he's got to deal with the Threatened Space. If he doesn't deal with the Threatened Space first, and he just tries to go industrial, he's just going to get overwhelmed very quickly. And won't go too well. I'll just say that. Definitely. You can't jump the gun on aging up, I think. Because if you do that, then you have like no resources in your defense. Just crumbles. Like, you know, a crumble of cookies. Little crumbs. Yeah. Oh, wait a second now. Looks like Unger's gold rate is going up pretty good, so what he's probably going to do is... Oh, well, wait a minute. Now he saw us the train stuff. I was going to say he might try to go Industrial Age now and then use that 1,000 coin shipment to recover his coin numbers and continue the fight here. Yeah. Definitely. Ah, okay, so we're gonna see a inverse from the Japan. See, what happened was France ran their counter water against the Japanese. Now we're gonna see Japan run their counter water against the French using their Atakabune shipment. Basically gives you 2 galleon type ships at the same time. You can use those to like clean up the water pretty easily, I would say. Yep, here they are right now. Big giant boats, almost like a turtle ship in a way. Yeah, now you can just run them on the fishing boats and take away one of Unger's last economic strongholds there. Unger's is attempting an industrial age with which politician? Cavalry Marshal. I think that gives you cuirassiers. I believe it gives you cuirassiers in industrial age. I think it's about 4 or 5, I think. If I remember correctly, I think it's 4 or 5. But yeah, no. Also going for another caravel I see from his dock. It's one thing that the France did here that Japan did was actually like reinforced with Navy there, yeah. Oh wait a minute, no, Japan did build a dock actually. Are they gonna start adding it in now or what? I don't know yet. Ooh, Japan getting ready for Industrial Age too. Yeah. That can always be a good move, I would say. Definitely. Especially since you can get your daimyo with the shogunate. So you got free daimyo from that. Then you can run your powerful cards like the 4 Flaming Arrows right on top of them and then go for some epic siege. Yeah. Look at these. I'm looking at these Yabazumes right now. No, there's not these Well, yes, the Yabazumes, but also the Yamabushis. To see how good those clubs actually did against cuirassiers, and it looks like they actually took 1 or 2 out. So that might explain why these cuirassiers keep failing too. It's the combination of both the Yabazumes and the Yamabushis that's cleaning them up, so to speak. Yeah. Now shipping in Tokugawa. I think we saw in the game during the previous stuff, Tokugawa has some pretty good hand attack, yeah. But GG anyways. Looks like Ungers did try to go for a Napoleonic era revolt, because I noticed the flag change, and then you see the R there for revolt. So yeah, you have to basically pay quite a bit of resources there to go for the Napoleonic era revolt, but once you do, it's quite good. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that was cool. I wish we saw a full Napoleonic era revolt from Ungers, since that's a pretty sought after revolt, I think. A lot of people actually want to learn how to do those, so I would have been pretty happy to actually showcase that and explain it to people, you know? Yeah. And so now we're going to look at game 3. Let's see who wins the tiebreaker now. So map is Mongolia. We're back to square one again. Yukiete with Swedes and Ungers with Germans. We already saw what happened the first time. Ungers got the run on his opponent here. Let's see if that's the case again or not. Yeah, will be interesting. We see a similar philosophy here. Trading post torp or just double torp for the start for Sweden. Yeah, no. Trading post it is, yeah. Basically on this map, Mongolia, the trade route's all the way up here at the top. So as long as you don't mind send the explorer real far away to build the TP, can be pretty good, since especially it's off the beaten path for the main attack route, since you're down here in the desert and you go across this way to reach your opponent. Trade's all the way up here, so no one's going to come up in this area unless they're specifically trying to take stuff out, yeah. Which I think is good, because it makes the trade route more reliable in that sense, unless somebody's real nifty and can snipe those areas effectively, yeah. Wonder if we're going to see the same decks since they're running the same sibs again. Now that should be interesting. So we do see one Halb again. Okay. How about Ungis? He's run the deck that has the Panders in H3. So, yeah, we're seeing the same decks again, folks. Now, question is, did Yukiete learn something, and is he going to be able to come back and do some good tricks here? We'll find out. We'll find out, though. Should be interesting, yeah, definitely. Going up with Core Master, right? Yep, that's always going to be the politician you start out with Germany, because 400 wood, very universal. I mean, you can do a lot with it. You can go stable, barracks, get a house, get architects. Core Master is one of the best politicians in Age 1, I would say. For really any civ that gets it, whether it's Ottomans or French or Germans, yeah. Or Russians. Governor for the Swedes. Yep, that's what you do when you go train post torp for the most part. Makes sense. Sweden is getting their own market right now, particularly for hunting dogs, I would assume. Yep, hunting dogs. Also want to think about maybe getting Gangsaw, so you can start adding more torps onto his mines. Whenever I play Sweden, and it might just be because I do them a lot in free-for-all and team games, I just go right for building the torps, almost as if they were British manor houses. I go build, 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 build. Get as many of them as I can because I know if I can get them and keep them, those torps are going to bring a ton of coin, a ton of food, and even some wood. Which you definitely need to win the match out in the long haul. Yeah. Alright, so Sweden goes for Dominions. So the 4 Torps wagons that can quickly be propped up. And then the Royal Decree. Yeah. How about Germany? Is Germany going to open up with Yulan pressure again? Like they did in the last game, or what? Well, we don't see stable or barracks yet, so we don't know what the Star Military is even going to be yet. No. It's picking up steel traps, though. Yeah, get those market techs as soon as you can with Germany, because the base gather rate on Southern wagons is about the same as 2 villagers combined. So when you get those market techs, man, do you see those resources really go up? Yeah. How much coins on that treasure, by the way? It's about 75. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all for Germany. Germany. Going for crossbowman shipment there. 8 crossbows with 2 Yuans. Very solid. Did open with pikes too, so has a bit of siege potential. Yeah, going pikes against civs like the Swedes can be very good because the pikes can take out some of their torps and thus cripple their economy a bit, which can be very helpful. Yeah. Here comes the Gustavian Guard from the church, right? Here they come, all the halberdiers. Quite a big stack of them. Let's see if they can deal with the crossbows though when they're extra range. Yeah, once it's Halb versus Pike, you know the Halbs are going to win because they had the higher base damage and everything. Yeah.
Ich bin verwundet und kann mich nicht bewegen. Good use of those Gustavian guards there to return the favor and actually start sieging the one German trading post there. While cut their shipment arrival times a bit and potentially lead to a win, I would say, when it becomes head to head. Going for the lever cannon shipment, that's always good. Basically artillery that's available in H2, so it can be quite nice.
Ich bin verwundet und kann mich nicht bewegen.
This is where things get a bit dicey because theoretically the Hussars the more sturdy cavalry, but Yuans with their high glass cannon type hand attack with low HP does make them a danger if they can swarm the Hussars there, so you do have to be careful with micro in this situation. That's all you need is casualties in the battle. Yeah. Oh yes, two vills, very good. Ungies. Good job, Ungies.
Ich bin verwundet und kann mich nicht bewegen.
Ish Majestät?
Do watch out though, Unger's made it to the Fortress Age and he's already shipping in the 3 War Wagon plus 3 Yulon card. Very dangerous. What else has he got? Does he already... Okay, so he's already got about 8 War Wagons and he's shipping in 3. He's getting veteran on the Yulons. Has he begun skirmishers at all from the barracks? No, he doesn't even have a barracks. So.
Und kann mich nicht bewegen.
And where's he getting all these crossbowmen then, though? I don't know, like, where's he getting all those crossbowmen from if there's no, like, barracks there? Yeah, well, stables up there. He's got, like, 2 stables, but I don't see a barracks in sight. Yeah, that's weird. Definitely. Even though he sent the Doppel shipment, honestly, no. Sweden now in age 3 as well, and they have some Hakapolits there, so Dragoons with Splash. Also have some 7X Jaegers too. Basically Jaegers, but they have their cost changed to wood and coin to make it a bit more affordable. Considering mines are a lot more deployable than wood, basically, yeah.
Okay, so it looks like Gunger's got the best of him there just because of the raw stats on these war wagons. Yeah. Also, he got his Jaeger shipment out too. That made it even worse. Yeah, once you get the Jaeger shipment out as Germany, things can get pretty ferocious. Since, with Germany, instead of getting free Ulans with their mercenary shipments, they just get extra mercenaries. So, yeah, quite good. What's the score in this series? Also, has Julian K played his best of 16 yet? Yes, he has. Yeah. I see Julian K's games up on the forum right now. I only see about half of the series for the round of 16, so I don't know if I can really stream it yet until we get the other half, but I can tell you for sure Julian K has done his series already, which is good. And I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. There's about 3 recordings there too, so it was a very tight series as well. So we won't know until we look at the stream for it if Julian K actually managed to win it or not. Yeah, definitely. When it goes down to 3 games, it's down to the wire, and it's really uncertain who's gonna win. I love it when there's 3 recordings. Not only do we get more content, but it's just a mystery meat of whether somebody won or not. It actually makes us stop and wonder. Definitely. So which one are we on now? We're going to do the Diaroga versus Only Bow series. So let's see this one. Up, wrong map. Let's do the other recording first so it's in order. We will see an Ottoman versus France there, though, when we do get to it. Point the note. So this is the first one to do. Haha! So we're gonna get a Ottoman mirror, is that right? Ottoman mirror. Interesting. So Only Bows versus Diaroga. Yeah, I would assume that Only Bows has a distinct advantage here because he is, the 5th strongest rated player in the world right now. So probably Only Bows has a bit of an advantage here. Diaroga, though, he's an old school, long time AoE 3 player, so he has a lot of skills up his sleeve too. So in that sense, I think it's going to be really tough to say who's going to take the series or not, because both players are clearly capable in this sense, yeah. So, yep, both Ottomans are going to build up their trading posts, and their mosques. Yep, basically the reason for going mosque trade post as allotments is basically it generates you as much XP as possible, leading to a ton more shipments. And that's really the essence of how allotments do so well in the 1v1s, is basically they're able to get really strong shipments out on the field, you know. Particularly the H3 ones. So your Falconets, your 5 Sipahi, your 4 Mamluks. These really good power card type of shipments. You can turn things around in competitive play, where every bit of damage counts. Alright, so let's look at what Only Bows did in terms of his build. So he went up with Capitalism first without touching the Uruks, which tells me he's going to go for a Naked Fast Fortress into Sublime Port. Yeah, that's typically what we see, you know. They get enough food to get them to the Fortress Age, and then you see all the vills move on to hunts, and then they just go Sublime Port to acquire like 2 to like 3,000 wood. Yeah, pretty much. That's how it works. Egypt's gonna be Naturalist, right? Or the Core Master. Yeah, the Core Master, you can still go for a Naked Fast Fortress going Core Master, but often what you'll see a lot with that is getting the age up and then just building a barracks and maybe even queuing a couple of Janissaries out during the age up transition. Can make things quite productive there, I think, yeah. How about Diaruga though? I want to look at the decks here. So this is the Bows one. It's like a non-Royal Decree one, but looking at Diaruga. Right, the Diaruga deck does have potential for Royal Decree because it's got the Mosque. Royal Decree lock option there in H2, and then in H3 they just have the Mosque construction card, which cheapens all the Royal Decree text that the Royal Decree is supposed to give you. Yeah, basically free stuff almost, yeah. Armin's Only Bows going 700 coin followed by 700. Yep. Also good herding by Diaruga, by the way. Look at how good he's keeping the huntables in his base. Yeah, sometimes if you don't take pathing seriously, you can have some real conundrums, like animals going missing, and then, yeah, you basically have to go find them pretty much, yeah. I'm just figuring out with only bouts if he's just gonna age up or is he gonna add a batch of Jans in before he ages up. Yeah.
Şimdi daha iyiceyim.
Two falconets coming out for only bows.
Yaralıyım. Kıpırdayamıyorum.
Alright, so both sides are now in, well, they were in Fortress Age. Now, Bowers is going to ship his big Janissary shipment in, it looks like, to reinforce those cannons. How about, Diaroga, though? So Diaroga, he's got barracks already. He's going to add in some wood, get some infrastructure. He's got his falconets, too, but thankfully, Jan scared off the hand cab there pretty easily. Yeah, pretty easily. Oh, nice. Diaroga gets a culverin too. That should give him a good advantage here in this fight. Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes adding a culverin can be a great way to get a leg up on someone in the Falconet War. Definitely. Also, it's good he has some hand cab there too with the delis. Obviously, won't be that good against the Jans, but definitely just another option you can try to use to pinpoint against the artillery of your enemy. Yeah. Oh wow, why is he got a, yep, that's a, oh, he's using that tactically to target. Ooh, not good. He's gonna lose that can. Ah, he missed. Could have gotten it, man. You gotta click a bit faster there. Unless he misfired.
with the mouse. That can happen too sometimes. Oh boy, only Bow's just got his Culverin in too, so it's gonna be an even artillery war now. So we'll see who ends up doing it. Yep, also Dirogas and Abyss as well. That has to probably avoid the Falconets, I would say. Best thing you could probably use this Abyss for is maybe picking off a few Jans, honestly. Yeah. And then they're going to try to trigger more Abyss too, which is not a bad idea. Especially since Abyss just basically do so much hard damage into the enemies.
Kıpırdayamıyorum.
Oh man, looks like only Bao's got the leg up on him there. Yeah, pretty much. Scary. Diaruga's gonna counter with 6 Abyss though. We'll see if that ends up working. It's always pretty serious when you wipe out a town center, an Almond town center, because the Almonds not only is it mean map control and defense, it's literally another source of free villagers in addition to the OG town center that they have, so yeah. It leads to a lot more automation in your economy, which can be useful.
Şimdi daha iyiceyim.
Looks like Diaroga's also picking up Top Kolar there to boost the HP and attack on his Abyss guns. Pretty much, yep, as well as his artillery. Oh man, Bao's getting the 4 Mamluk shipment. That's gonna be fatal. Because they almost have like 1.5k HP. So Mamluks can tank anything and allow the rest of the army to surge. Beautiful growth there by Only Bao's, gradually adding more and more until he was able to secure the win. Yep, so let's see how game number 2 goes here. Just one more and we're done with the round of 32. Yeah, let's go up. Yeah, I noticed that I was accidentally trying to scroll it with the arrow keys. Wasn't working. Unfortunate. Okay, so here we are. We got Only Bao's now playing as France against Diaroga's Ottomans. So he's going to continue to try to do Ottomans here. Yep, building the mosque right in that spot. Which train post are they going to go for, though? Because we're dealing with 2 civs to build a train post on a much smaller trade route. Will there be any sort of competition for the trade route? Let's find out. Okay, so it looks like France is gonna go for this one, but Only Bao's. Yep, Ottoman's also going for it. So he's gonna have to quickly pivot up into this one now. Okay, so now that means France is gonna get their trading post first, and thus enjoy a bit more XP delivery before the Ottomans do. However, the Ottomans obviously had their backup with the Moss trickling XP, so it's not as bad. Yeah, basically. Yep, pretty much trading posts really essential for both Ottomans and French. They're 2 civs that really depends on there. Oh, I was checking the chat there. Is it frozen? Let me make sure, because I thought I moved the camera. Okay. Yeah, the mouse is acting all weird. Oh man, look at this. Native Scout and Explorer tackling the Explorer there. Interesting. You seeing the camera moving now, right? Just making sure we're not having any graphics issues. Because I remember I told you before we were having the issue with the monitor where I accidentally unplugged the thing. Hopefully we're not running any sort of lag at all. Yeah. Might just be me getting drowsy. Yep, this is the last one, and then we'll be done for now. Okay, so this is Fast Fortress CA Water. Cav Archer Water. Is that true? Interesting. So all we're seeing here for water is the frigate in Age 3 as a counter water. Not even galleys. So that's interesting. Yeah. Core Master or Naturalist. Okay, so looks like Diaroga's gonna go for a naked Fast Fortress. How about France? France going up with Core Master, 1v1 Martyr. So this French deck
has quite a bit of counter war. You got your caravels, you got the frigate, and you also have improved warships. So, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. What treasure is this? 135 XP, so that's a pretty good one. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, wow. Bringing in a villager to make sure the explorer doesn't... Yeah, that can be a bit tough sometimes. Because there have been some situations where I've miscalculated fights with the treasure guardians, and then I end up losing the, explorer, and the enemy ends up stealing the treasure. So it's kind of good that he brought his vill up there to try to get it. Most definitely, so that was quite good. Yeah. Yeah, so basically in this situation, I think Sublime Port for the Ottomans will absolutely go into fishing economy potentially, because if you transfer all that food into wood, you can stick it easily into like 2 or 3 docks along here and then just go crazy fishing like that. Yeah. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not. Alright, so 5 Uruks followed by coin, picking up steel traps. That 3 stuff combined should lead to a quick fortress age for Diaruga. Is for only bows. He's going 4 CBDs, followed by 700 coin. He has to go tit for tat, otherwise Ottomans will just go ahead and cream him. He's also picking, oh, he already picked up the Kree native site too, so not only is he going to be queuing up CBDs from the town center, he's going to be able to queue up a few CBDs from the Kree site as well. They're basically the same. They're both villagers that have extraordinary gather rates as well as good combat abilities, so it's kind of like doing a partial 2 town center boom there for a while thanks to that native site. France is going to open up with pikemen, it looks like here. Yep, 700 coin coming in from France. As for Ottomans, they're pricking, there's a coin there. Perfect. Okay, so pikemen are assumably going to come after the trading post there, so that's good. That should allow France to pressure the Ottomans somewhat, yeah. What do you know about Diaruga? Diaruga is actually one of the more classical Age of Empires 3 players. He came back around, I think it was a month ago or so. He was around in Legacy Age of Empires 3. Yeah, so he knows some really old school builds with the Ottomans and some of the other civs. In fact, it actually got him into a bit of trouble during the group stage, because unfortunately, there were people like Batu that were able to use more updated builds against Diaruga, and he didn't know how to deal with them because he'd never experienced them before. Because Diaruga initially played Ottomans like old school Ottomans like the old days, and Batu used the more updated build order and completely cooked him with it. So Diaruga had to get himself up to speed with the way the new Definitive Edition works, unfortunately. So yeah, but Diaruga though is pretty skilled, so he actually has been able to advance as far into the tournament so far. I think with a bit more practice he'll do even better, honestly. Yeah. But then again, only Bows is like 5th strongest in the world as far as rating is concerned, so he's got quite the competition he has to deal with. Alright, so aging up with the marksman for Abyss Gunners. That's probably due to urgency because of these pikemen. Also, going with Sublime Port right now. He's going to get probably about 2,000 wood from that, I would assume. Yeah, most likely. Yep, about 2 point. Look at all the stuff he's going to get. So he's going to get a foundry, he's going to get a stable. He could also probably get some fishing economy too, I would say. Absolutely. So go in the Cav Archer Abyss route. I think that's pretty solid against French. You know, Cav Archer should be able to deal with Hussar Cuirassier, and then Abyss can deal with the rest. That should be quite good in this situation. Absolutely. What do we got here? We got placer mines coming down from the French. Very good. Town center. Oh, nice. Using Sublime Port to get another TC, as well as picking up the Moss text to improve the spawn rate of the villagers. Very nice. You definitely want to research the wood text at the mosque as soon as possible for your villagers, because one definitely good thing about the Ottomans is the fact that you never have to train villages manually. Thus, you never have to spend food on them. But definitely when you get all three of the moss texts that cost wood, you can effectively improve your villager's spawn rate from those TCs by up to 15%. So, makes a huge difference in the end. Yeah. I'm going for a third town center here too. So, a full 3 TC boom. Perfect. Already has both Cav Archer and Abbas, as well as shipping in 2 Falconets. More Cav Archers coming in right now. The France has some Dragoons already. And they're also going to be training some Skirm and more Dragoons. So it's really going to be a Dragoon Skirm war. Yeah, that's basically what I heard. I was around the WOD early and don't remember his name. Thank you. Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of old school AoE3 players that still play the game quite a bit. Interestingly enough, I played with Cuirassier in Colosseum Budokai the other day, and he actually told me that he taught Phoenix how to do a lot of his build ores that you've seen in the Torment. So without Cuirassier playing games with Phoenix, he would have never basically mastered AoE3 enough to make it this far in the Torment. So yeah, you learn little tips like that along the way about the history of AoE3 and its competitive players. Yeah. Because I always assumed that Phoenix just came up with his builds on his own, but no, it looks like he used to train with Cuirassier and he ended up learning that through playing with him, basically, which is pretty neat tip to learn, yeah. Does look like France will be able to maintain a 2 villager queue just because you got a town center through the bishop age up that France offers, giving you a covered wagon and thus a TC. France will now begin their falconets though to counteract the Ottoman ones, which should be pretty good. Gonna return the favor and take out his training post now. Yep, very good. Brutal. Falconet's taking out 3 Abbas guns there. Gotta be careful, man. Big time. I didn't even realize that Ottomans didn't even complete their 3rd town center here at all. I thought that was built a lot earlier there. Yeah. No. Pretty surprised by that, actually. Oh man, really? wanted to see that one. Unreal. Crazy. Oh boy. I'm sorry about that, man. Ugh. Why don't the devs fix this game's recordings, man? You know? Never had this problem in Legacy. It's always Definitive Edition. Ugh. Whatever. So, you know what I may as well do since you're all here? I'm going to show you what we're probably going to do tomorrow. So, what we're going to probably do tomorrow is Age of Pirates. Yeah, Age of Pirates. There's a new map here for us to do, so that should be pretty fun. Yeah. So, you know what we'll do? We'll actually just update it right now so we can enjoy it. Yeah. I think what we're going to do, for Monday is we're going to do the Age of Pirates Constantinople / Black Sea map. That'll be quite nice. And then after that, we can play some Definitive Edition matches. Oh, yeah, no, that's going to be fun. Yeah. And then later on, probably next week, we'll look at the Balearic Islands map, which is already in development, too. So, yeah. Basically, this map here, Black Sea, that we're going to be doing tomorrow, or today, technically, because it's already Monday, we're going to be doing a map that takes place on the Black Sea. There is Cossack camps, special Orthodox churches, and then there's the city of Constantinople and Istanbul itself, along the Bosporus Strait that we're going to have to capture, and then beyond there, find a sea fort in the middle of the water and try to capture it, King of the Hill style. So it's going to be a really fun map to play around with, and we might even played through it 2 or 3 times to get good at. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to looking at. And then in a week, we're going to be, or I think it's going to be a week, we're going to look at the Balearic Islands map. That's going to be map with a bunch of islands and these special settlements, right? But there's going to be natives there, of course. There's going to be pirates there. I'm trying to remember, is there going to be multis there or something? Then there's going to be special Habsburg sites, but they're going to be Spanish flavored, so they're going to have unique stuff there that the normal House of Habsburg doesn't have, that's related to the Spanish viceroyalty aspect of the Habsburgs. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. Oh yeah, it's going to be quite interesting for sure. Do you remember I Am Grunt? I might remember him. I might. I'm trying to recall that name. Did he play on Game Ranger at all? Or did he do Wars? Because most of the people I remember from the old days were the people that played Wars Liberty. Or was he on ESOC with Interjection? Those are sort of the 2 places where I recall people is from Wars Liberty and then Interjection and ESOC back in those days. I knew a few people that I used to do Coliseum with as well and Woliseum with, but that pool was pretty small back in those days. Yeah, back then my computer that I had very little disk space, so I ended up having to use Wars Liberty to take over my whole directory then, to basically have it so I couldn't play Asian Dynasties. So I didn't have a lot of time to play regular Asian Dynasties. I would literally just play Wars Liberty with people all the time. It wasn't until I got this new computer that I can actually afford to have Asian Dynasties and War Chiefs be separate from my Wars Liberty install. So I have a lot more flexibility with playing with people, and that's why you see me doing a ton of arena games with Baked Potato and Revelizer all the time. Yeah, for that reason. Definitely. Oh, looks like 420 wants to play some Wars Liberty with me. Let me tell him, yeah. I'm gonna tell him right now that I'd love to do it. It won't be part of the stream, obviously, but you'll probably see the recording at some point on my channel. Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen him in a while. definitely want to catch up and do a game with them tonight for sure. Hopefully I don't fall asleep though, because you saw how I was falling asleep there with the camera earlier. Wasn't that good. I think I'm fine now, and I can handle combat and stuff. If anything, it'll wake me up, and then I'll be up all night. I run into those situations if I do Wars of Liberty late at night. It's like I'll fight so hard in 1v1 that I'll just like be perpetually awake with my blood pressure super high, going pump, 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 pump like that. It's funny. Most definitely. Alright, so it's about 82% done. Very good. Also, you can see a ton of other mods I have too here. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I love this Age of Pirates mod. So many cool maps and natives on it. And that also means too that we're going to probably be doing native overviews for both the Cossack camps and the new Spanish Viceroyalty variant of the Habsburgs too. So just be on the lookout for that as well. And if there's any custom native in Istanbul itself, we'll probably do that as well as a separate one. But I don't know yet. It depends on how much content they put in. Oh, bummer. Yeah. That's unfortunate. It sounds like a name I might know. I am Grunt. Let's hope that this download works. Yeah. Hopefully it does. Yeah, I'll check that out. Oh yeah, no. Get it if you can. Absolutely. Alright, it's stuck in my OBS view. I hope it doesn't crash. Yeah, hopefully not. Because sometimes it gets super stuck where you can't click into the game when it's in the final 100% part of the download. And then you wonder if it's actually going to download or not, because I think there were some issues before with the mod manager where it just didn't install and it would just sit there and freeze or whatever. So we'll have to see if it ends up doing it or not. Yeah. Says we're on 100% at least. We'll probably get a successful message very soon, hopefully. I think the map that you see there on the top right is actually the King of Bohemia one, because I recognize the Bohemian flag there plus the great cathedral in the middle of the map that you have to control. Yeah. So that's probably the Bohemia map, I would say. Beautiful. Alright, there we go. Alright, so it looks like it was successfully installed, and is it enabled? Yep. Good. Very nice. Good. Just trying to make sure. So what maps do I have? Can we see or not? Or, well, let me find out. We already looked at this map, Elba, actually. This was the last one we were on, remember? Yeah. Nah, we already looked at Elba, surprisingly, so... Which maps we got here? Just making sure we got everything. Yep, this is the one we're going to look at tomorrow. Or today. This one, Black Sea. And then maybe next week we'll look at this one too. Balearic Islands. Any other new stuff, or is that it for now? Looks like, yeah, things the same there mostly. Yeah. Alright. Looks pretty cool, yeah. They gotta fix this typo. Orthodox. What's a orthodox? I don't know. Definitely. Is there any special rules about Cids we can pick or whatever? No. Definitely. Okay. So we do get to choose nearly landlocked sea with a single trade route passing through the city of Constantinople. The area offering various resources. Naval King of the Hill option is available. So we don't have to do the King of the Hill if we don't want to. Okay. So we can play it normally as well. I think I might just play it normally and then we can try maybe doing a King of the Hill one afterward just to play with the bot. Yeah, we could totally do that to get more playability out of it. Yep, so this is Constantinople down here, and then obviously the rest of it would represent like the Black Sea. This would sort of be Crimea, this would be the Balkans, and this would be like Georgia and the Caucasus of Russia, probably. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for coming tonight for a round of he was the GOAT and competitive in the early days of AoE 3 before the H2 years. Wow, that's awesome. Is he up on does he have games that were up on YouTube or anything? I'll probably check him out sometime to see how good he was. Definitely. I love looking at old Age of Empires 3 stuff, so I'll probably check him out on YouTube to see if he's done any good matches. Definitely, so, yep. Anyways, thank you everyone for coming tonight. I know it was a bit of a small stream tonight, and I obviously really needed some sleep instead of streaming, but I just wanted to get through them super quick so we could get onto the new stuff either this week or next week with round of 16, yeah. You can find the games, but they are rare. Oh, okay. So I'll just type in I am Grunt AoE 3 and hopefully I'll come across something. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Good night. Yep, definitely. I'm going to go do some Wars of Liberty with 420 right now, because he just said 1 second, which means he's getting ready to invite me to a lobby. So I better get ready for that, alright? And hopefully we can publish that game, if not next week, following week or whatever. Because I prefer to stream instead of upload recordings where possible. The recordings are like a backup if I can't stream or whatever. So yeah, see you then. All right, let's have some Constantinople fun later tonight.